welcome back to our channel Biolab India, and this is Vamsi here at Biolab India. So yes guys, I hope you have seen the previous video on the cardiovascular system, in which we have discussed about the components, blood vessels, etc., about arteries, veins, etc., and etc. So in the second part of this cardiovascular system, we will be discussing about the heart. And I am Vamsi, a first year MBBS student here at Sri Balaji Medical College, Renigunta. And let's start with the today's topic, heart. So we will be discussing about heart for today. Let us go deep into the heart. First, we will be studying these under different subtopics. First, we will be seeing the features of heart. What are the features of heart? So let us see the features of human heart basically. Okay, we will be seeing the features of human heart first, then we'll be moving on with the other topics too. So as you know, all know, it is four chambered first of all. Next one, heart is enclosed in a protective sac called the pericardium. This is very important, and which also contains small amount of fluid called as pericardial fluid. Yes, if it is your heart, if that is your heart, wait a minute. If this is your heart, say for example, this is surrounded by a protective sac called as a pericardium, and in this protective sac, in between the heart and the pericardium, you will be having the pericardial fluid, which protects the heart from shock. And also, if you have your lungs, okay, if these are your lungs, these lungs also have a protective membrane called as pleural membrane, and in that you have the pleural fluid present, and this fluid also protects from shock. Okay, and this membrane protects the lungs. So any vital organ is generally present inside a sac. Okay, and also it is provided with fluid. Even our brain is also present inside a bony box called as cranium, and it is provided with cerebrospinal fluid, due to which we will not be knowing the weight of the brain. So coming back to our topic, the wall of the heart is made up of three layers. Usually epicardium, it is the outer; myocardium, it is the middle; and endocardium, it is the innermost layer. Every time if you listen, hear the word epi, it means outer; endo means inner; myo, okay, myo means middle. Okay, and also here you can take it as here, and in the uterus you can take it as myo means muscles. So myo means muscles, myology, study of muscles. So muscles, and as the name suggests, myocardium means it is made up of muscles. Which type of muscles? Cardiac muscles. And heart pumps the blood with a rhythm determined by a group of pacemaking cells in the sinoatrial node. We have SAN, which we will be discussing in the future lectures, not in this lecture, in the future lectures. Okay, let us move further. Now let us see the anatomical position or anatomical location of heart. Where is your heart located exactly? So your heart is located between your lungs, in the middle of your chest, behind slightly left to your breastbone or sternum. So this area is called as mediasternum. Okay, the human heart is located within the thoracic cavity. So the cavity in which your lungs is enclosed, or the thorax, the lungs. Okay, the lungs, actually thoracic cavity is formed by ribs, sternum, and vertebral column. Ribs, sternum, and vertebral column, these form your thoracic cavity. And in this thoracic cavity you will be having your lungs, and in between your lungs you will be having your heart, and that space in between the lungs is called as mediasternum. Because why it is called as mediasternum? You will be having your breastbone called as sternum, and you will be having your body of the sternum. Here there are three parts of sternum, keeping it aside, and it, as it is present, the sternum is present in the middle. Okay, in middle of your ribs, and this heart is present behind the sternum, slightly tilted to the left side. So that is why it is called as mediasternum. Okay, this is your position. See, this is your sternum. Okay, this is your base of the heart, and this is your apex of the heart, and these are your ribs, and this is your thoracic cavity, and this is the lateral view. See, this is diaphragm, this is heart, and this is sternum. This place where heart is located is called as mediasternum. Clear, guys? Moving on further with the next one, walls of the heart. What are these walls of the heart? We have already seen walls of the heart. What are those? Epicardium, myocardium, and endocardium. So outermost layer is called as epicardium, which is made up of mesothelial cells and connective tissue. See, in most of the organs where layers are present, the outermost layer is generally made up of and usually made up of connective tissue cells, and the innermost layer is made up of your endothelial cells. Okay, this is in general, you just remember it in general. Next one, it is made up of even mesothelial cells and connective tissue cells. Middle layer is your myocardium. Middle layer is called as your myocardium, and this consists of cardiac muscles. We'll be studying the features of cardiac muscles soon in this video only. Okay, cardiac muscles, we have three types of muscles which are present in the human body. What are those? Skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and your smooth muscles. Smooth muscles and are present in the vital organs. Okay, and the skeletal muscles are present attached to the skeleton, and the cardiac muscles are present only in the heart, and it is the specific feature of these cardiac muscles to be present in the heart. Next one, innermost layer is called as your endocardium, and it is made up of single layered cells of endothelial cells. Single layered endothelial cells. So these are about the walls of the heart, not valves, walls. Now coming to the structure of cardiac muscles of heart. See, let us discuss about the structure. Cardiac muscle structure is very similar to your skeletal muscle structure. However, cardiac muscles differ from skeletal muscles in that it exhibits rhythmic contractions and it is not under voluntary control. Yes, actually, your skeletal muscles are under your control, means your voluntary control. If you want to, exercise, you will be contracting the muscles, or if you want to lift weights, you will be contracting the muscles. Without for any reason your skeletal muscles do not contract, so that is called as your voluntary. It is under your control whether to contract the muscle or not. But coming into cardiac muscles, it is not under your control. It is under control of central nervous system. It is not under your control. Autonomic nervous system controls all these. Okay, it is not sorry, the skeletal muscles are under control of central nervous system, and it is in the control of autonomic nervous system, and you don't have any power on these. Okay, if at all, if you have power, you can die and live. So these cardiac muscles are involuntary muscles. Next, rhythmic contractions is regulated by the sinoatrial node of the heart. And guys, the rhythmic contractions, for any muscle to get contracted, we require impulses generally. So these impulses are generally supplied by the brain. But whereas coming to your heart, these are not supplied by the brain. Rather, the heart itself initiates these rhythmic contractions. That is a very beautiful feature of which is present in the heart. It only creates its own impulses. No other muscle in the body can create its own impulses, but the cardiac muscles can do. Okay, and that is why we call this sinoatrial node as pacemaker. Okay, in short we write it as SAN. Okay, next one, cardiac muscle cells form highly branched cellular network in the heart. They are connected end to end by interconnected discs, and this is the very most important reason why we cannot see fatigue inside the cardiac cells. Okay, in the cardiac cells you will not find fatigue, because there is no fatigue at all. If they are tired, they will stop working. So if it stops working, we will stop living. Okay? So that is why we have the interconnected discs. These interconnected discs are present between two muscles. Okay, these interconnected discs are present between two muscles, and they have lots amount of storage of energy. So coming into this is your structure of cardiac muscles. You can see it here. Okay, it is very similar to the structure of skeletal muscle, no need to worry. Next one, features of cardiac muscles. What are these features of cardiac muscles which make them so special? So they are striated, branch, mononucleate, sorry, they are mononucleate, they are branched, they are striated. Next one, they have intercalated discs because they which never fatigue. They are involuntary in function throughout the human body. They are only found in myocardium. That is why they are called as myo sorry, the cardiac muscles. Next one, these are the features. And now coming into the structure of the heart. What is the structure of heart? As said, the human heart is made up of four chambers. Okay, what are those chambers? The upper two chambers, namely called as atria, and lower two chambers called as ventricles. What are atria? The upper two chambers of the heart are called as atria, and singular word is atrium. And the lower two chambers are called as ventricles, and the singular is ventricle. Okay, and the heart is divided into your left half and right half. Left half is generally consists of oxygenated blood, which we represent by a red color, and right half generally consists of deoxygenated blood, which we represent in blue color. How to represent sorry, how to remember which is right side and left side? Okay, how to remember this? See, when you see the image at your eye level, your opposite sides become right and left. The opposite to your right hand becomes your left, and opposite to your left hand becomes right. Okay, okay, that is the thing. Or else you just make a cross of your hands, that will be enough. If you make cross, right will come to right atrium, left will come to left. So this one, and these four valves are separated by septa. Septae, let me erase this. These are separated by different septae. What are those? This septa which separates the our atrium and ventricles is called as your inter atrioventricular sorry, interatrial septum. Okay, wait a minute. This is not interventricular septum, sorry. See, this septum which separates atria, both atria differently, is your interatrial septum, and this septum which divides ventricles separately is your interventricular septum, and the septum which divides your right atrium with right ventricle and left atrium with left ventricle, this septum is called your is called as your what? It is present between both atrium and ventricle, so it is called as atrioventricular septum. Okay, atrioventricular septum. So that is it. This is your structure of the heart. Moving on further, similarly, the atrium and ventricle, as I said, that one. The left half consists of deoxygenated blood, and now the left half consists of oxygenated blood, guys. Okay, let me this is a deep structure of the heart which we'll be studying now. Please concentrate here, since it is very important. Coming here, the left half of the heart. Okay, both the left atria and left ventricle, left atrium and left ventricle, this is your left atrium or left auricle, this is your left ventricle. Both these contain oxygenated blood. Okay, oxygenated blood. As they contain oxygenated blood, they send blood to your body parts through aorta. Okay, they send blood through to your body parts through aorta. Next one, your right atrium and right ventricle. Okay, right atrium and right ventricle consists of deoxygenated blood. As they consist of deoxygenated blood, they have to send it for purification. So in order to send them for purification, they send it to lungs. Lungs are the places where purification is done. We will be seeing in the respiratory chapter how this purification is done. Okay, now through pulmonary artery or vein? Artery. See here, in pulmonary case, in the heart, these pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein are your exceptions. Generally arteries carry oxygenated blood, but the pulmonary artery is the thing, only the thing which carries deoxygenated blood towards the lungs. Okay, next one, pulmonary veins generally carry deoxygenated blood, but the pulmonary vein is only the thing which carries oxygenated blood. Okay, so the right atrium and right ventricle, they receive blood from the inferior and superior vena cava, and they send it to lungs for purification through pulmonary artery. And the left auricle or left atrium and left ventricle, they have deoxygenated blood, they have sorry, they have sorry, they have oxygenated blood which they received from your pulmonary veins. They send it to the body parts through aorta. Okay, this is the thing. Are you clear with this? Let me just repeat it once again. We have two vena cava, inferior and superior. Superior brings blood from the upper body part, inferior brings blood from the lower body parts. Next one, we have the right atrium and right ventricle. Both these vena cava pour blood into right atrium, and this right atrium pours the blood into right ventricle. And as it is deoxygenated blood, it has to be sent for purification. In order to send it for purification, this deoxygenated blood is sent into lungs through pulmonary artery, and after purification the oxygenated blood is brought back to the heart into the left atrium by the pulmonary veins, right and left both. Next one, once this atrium, left atrium receives blood, it sends into left ventricle, and from there this as it is oxygenated blood, it is transported to different body parts through your aorta. That is the thing. Moving on further, valves of the heart. As you all have seen in the veins, we have valves. In the similar way, in heart also we have valves. In heart also, in heart we see three different kinds of valves. What are they? Tricuspid valve, bicuspid valve, and semilunar valves. This tricuspid valve is present in the junction of right atrium and right ventricle. Okay, it is present in the junction of right atrium and right ventricle. Whereas this bicuspid or mitral valve, it is present in the junction of left atrium and left ventricle. And the semilunar valves are present in the pulmonary artery and aorta. Pulmonary artery and aorta. As they are present in structures, and the structural name is given, the semilunar valve which is present in the aorta is called as aortic valve, and the valve which is present in the pulmonary artery, the semilunar valve, is called as pulmonary valve. Okay, coming to this diagram, please have a look at this diagram. See, okay, no, I can zoom while writing. Just watch. You can put it like that only and write it. Let's take this color. Oh shit, sorry. Come on, this is your right atrium. Okay, this is your right ventricle, and the valve which is present in between right atrium and right ventricle is your tricuspid valve. Okay, is your tricuspid valve. This is your left atrium, this is your left ventricle, and the valve which is present between your left atrium left ventricle is your bicuspid valve or mitral valve. Okay, and this is your aorta, this is your pulmonary artery. The valve which is present in the aorta is your aortic valve, which is a type of semilunar valve, and the valve which is present in your pulmonary artery is your pulmonary valve, which is again a type of semilunar valve. Okay, these are the four valves of heart. The function of these valves in the heart is also same as in the case of veins. They prevent backflow of blood. Now, coming into the most important thing of this lecture, that is your mechanism of heart, mechanism of functioning of heart. How does this heart function at all? Okay, this is your body tissues. listen with patience, listen very carefully, don't miss anything here. That is, this is your body tissues. Okay, from body tissues, deoxygenated blood is collected by the capillaries, it is sent into your venules, it is sent into your veins, and all these veins converge to form your vena cava. The lower half of the body is the blood of the lower half of the body is brought by inferior vena cava, and upper part of the body is brought by superior vena cava. Okay, superior vena cava, and both these vena cava pour the deoxygenated blood into your right atrium, into your right atrium. Okay, deoxygenated blood into right atrium. Now when does they pour this? When the right atrium is in your relaxed state. Okay, when right atrium is in the relaxed state, more than the all the blood is collected into the right atrium. Similarly, when right atrium is in relaxed state, the right ventricle is also in relaxed state. At that time at that time nearly 70% of the blood, nearly 70% of the blood is transferred from right atrium to right ventricle without any contraction, without any contraction, in the relaxed state only. Okay, without any contraction of right atrium, nearly 70% of the blood is sent to right ventricle. And from this right ventricle, from this right ventricle, the remaining 30% is there, no, the remaining 30% of the blood is uh, comes into the right ventricle when this right atrium contracts. Okay, now look here what happens when the blood is present in the right ventricle. When the blood is present in the right ventricle, this has to be sent for purification to the lungs through pulmonary artery. Okay, deoxygenated blood should get oxygenated. uh, for oxygenation, the place of oxygenation is your lungs. So in order to get oxygenated, it is sent to your lungs. Okay, through, sorry, pulmonary artery. Now in order to send it, the right ventricle contracts. This right ventricle contracts with high pressure. When this right ventricle contracts, what happens is the blood can flow back towards the right atrium. No, in order to prevent this only, we have the presence of tricuspid valve. When the right ventricle pumps, the tricuspid valve closes, and this sound, the closure of tricuspid and bicuspid both. See, when this deoxygenated blood cycling is happening, oxygenated also happens simultaneous. Okay, this when this right ventricle contracts, in order to prevent the black flow of blood into the right atrium, the tricuspid valve is present and it closes. Okay, it closes. Now the blood is sent into your lungs. After that, purified blood which is present in the lungs is collected by the capillaries. It is uh, it is brought back to the heart through the pulmonary veins, and these pulmonary veins pour this blood into your left atrium when it is in your relaxed state. Okay, now let me erase this. Now coming into oxygenated blood cycle, this oxygenated blood is poured into your left atrium. Okay, left atrium, when this left atrium is in relaxed state, and from this left atrium, in the relaxed state only, nearly 70% again it is sent into the left ventricles, nearly 70%. Remaining 30% is sent when this left atrium contracts. Okay, now your left atrium is full of blood. Which blood? Oxygenated blood. This has to be sent into your body tissues through aorta. Now in the similar fashion, left ventricle contracts. When this left ventricle contracts with high pressure, the bicuspid valves close, and this closure of bicuspid and tricuspid valves produces the sound lub, which is your first heartbeat. First heartbeat, the sound which is called as lub, is produced by which due to the closure of tricuspid and bicuspid. The next sound dub is produced by due to the closure of your semilunar valves. Okay, I'll be coming into it. Wait. Now, when this left ventricle contracts, the blood is sent into aorta. Now, while this aorta is leaving the heart, this blood can um, flow back into the ventricle. In order to prevent this, once this blood reaches the aorta, the semilunar valves, not only the aorta, even the pulmonary artery, both the semilunar valves close. Due to this closure of semilunar valves, the second heart sound, which is called as dub, is produced. Okay, this is your lub dub, and this is your mechanism of functioning of your heart. And the circulation which is happening between heart and lungs is called as pulmonary circulation, and the circulation which is happening between the heart and body parts is called as your systemic circulation. Okay guys, if you have any doubts, please post them in the comment section. I hope you understood this mechanism of functioning of heart. If not, if you haven't understood, please post it in the comment section below. I'll be trying to responding it in next session, guys. Thank you guys, have a great day further. This is Vamsi signing off from Biolab India. If you like this video, please hit that like button very hard, and also subscribe to our channel Biolab India. Thank you guys, bye bye, see you in the next video. Have a great day further, guys. Bye.